What if I told you that the team millions of fans have already crowned as World Cup champions is heading straight toward disappointment? What if the football world is making the exact same mistake it has made over and over again for the last 2 decades? Brazil, the most successful nation in football history, 5 World Cups, countless legends, a squad overflowing with talent, and according to many fans, one of the favorites to win FIFA 2026. But here's the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to hear. Being the most talented team doesn't guarantee success. In fact, history suggests the opposite, because when we look closely at Brazil's recent World Cup campaigns, a disturbing pattern appears. A pattern of hype, a pattern of expectations, and a pattern of failure. Today, we're breaking down why everyone thinks Brazil will win FIFA 2026, and why they might be completely wrong. Let's begin. Every 4 years, the same story repeats itself. People look at Brazil's squad and immediately assume they're destined for glory. And honestly, it's easy to understand why. Brazil always produces world-class players, elite wingers, creative midfielders, dangerous attackers, and defenders playing at the highest level. On paper, they almost always look unstoppable. But here's the question. If talent alone wins World Cups, then why hasn't Brazil lifted the trophy since 2002? Think about that. More than 2 decades have passed. Since then, Brazil has fielded incredible squads containing some of the greatest footballers of their generation. Yet the trophy cabinet remains unchanged. Why? Because international football isn't won on paper. It's won through chemistry, tactical discipline, mental strength, and the ability to perform under pressure. The World Cup isn't a talent competition, it's a survival test, and Brazil has repeatedly failed that test when it mattered most. There is something unique about Brazil. No other nation carries expectations quite like they do. When England loses, people are disappointed. When France loses, people are surprised. When Brazil loses, the entire football world goes into shock. That's the burden of being Brazil. Every generation grows up hearing stories about Pelé, about Ronaldo Nazario, about Ronaldinho, about Cafu, about the golden years when Brazil seemed unbeatable. The problem? Modern players are expected to live up to legends, and that's an impossible standard. Every missed chance becomes a national debate. Every mistake becomes front-page news. Every defeat feels like a catastrophe. Pressure can inspire greatness, but too much pressure can destroy it. And history suggests Brazil often struggles under that burden. The fear of failure sometimes becomes greater than the desire to win. And in knockout football, that's dangerous. Very dangerous. Let's look at the evidence. 2010, eliminated in the quarterfinals. 2014, the infamous 7-1 humiliation, a defeat so shocking that football fans still talk about it today. 2018, knocked out by Belgium. 2022, eliminated by Croatia despite being overwhelming favorites. Notice the pattern? Brazil consistently enters tournaments with huge expectations, yet they continue falling short against elite opposition. This isn't bad luck anymore, it's a trend. The best teams find ways to win difficult matches. Brazil keeps finding ways to lose them. And until that changes, why should anyone assume 2026 will be different? Hope isn't evidence. Results are, and recent results should concern every Brazil supporter. Many fans still imagine a world where Brazil can simply outclass everyone. But football has changed. The gap between nations is shrinking rapidly. Look around the world. France possesses extraordinary depth. Argentina has a winning mentality. Spain is filled with technical brilliance. Portugal has one of the strongest squads in football. England's talent pool is enormous. Germany is rebuilding. Morocco proved underdogs can reach the latter stages. Japan continues improving. The days of easy victories are gone. Every knockout game is a battle. Every opponent is dangerous. And one bad performance can end an entire campaign. Brazil won't be entering a tournament where they're clearly superior. They'll be entering the most competitive World Cup environment we've ever seen. That should worry their fans. World Cups are often remembered for goals, but they're usually decided by mistakes. One defensive lapse, one moment of panic, one concentration error, and you're going home. When Brazil exits major tournaments, defensive mistakes often play a huge role. A misplaced pass, poor positioning, a lapse in focus, tiny errors become massive disasters. The margins at World Cups are incredibly small, and elite teams punish every weakness until Brazil proves it can consistently defend under maximum pressure. Doubts will remain, because flashy attacking football wins highlights, solid defending wins tournaments. This might be the biggest issue of all. What happens when Brazil faces adversity? What happens when they're trailing? What happens when the crowd turns nervous? What happens when penalties arrive? Champions stay calm, champions stay focused, champions continue believing. But recent tournaments suggest Brazil sometimes struggles emotionally when momentum shifts. The moment pressure rises, confidence can disappear. And World Cups are full of emotional storms. The teams that survive are often the mentally strongest, not necessarily the most talented, and that's a critical distinction. This may be the biggest reason Brazil won't win FIFA 2026. Everyone is focusing on Brazil, but championships are rarely won by the team receiving the most hype. While fans obsess over Brazil, several other nations are quietly building something special. France remains terrifying. Argentina understands how to win big matches. Spain continues evolving. Portugal's squad is loaded with quality. England keeps gaining experience. One of these teams could peak at exactly the right moment. And that's often all it takes. World Cups are not marathons. They're short tournaments. Momentum matters. Confidence matters. Timing matters. The best team doesn't always win. The team that peaks at the perfect moment usually does. Here's the illusion many fans believe. Brazil has great players. Therefore, Brazil will win. Simple. Except football has never been that simple. If it were, countless World Cups would have ended differently. The reality is much harsher. Great players lose World Cups all the time. Great teams fail all the time. Favorites collapse all the time. History proves this repeatedly. And that's why predicting Brazil as champions is far riskier than many people realize. Can Brazil win FIFA 2026? Of course, they're Brazil. Any prediction that completely dismisses them would be foolish. They have the talent, the tradition, the quality, the experience, everything needed to become champions. But they must solve several problems first. They must handle pressure better. They must become mentally stronger. They must avoid costly defensive mistakes. They must perform in the biggest moments. Most importantly, they must stop relying on reputation, because trophies aren't awarded for history. They're earned in the present. So, will Brazil win FIFA 2026? Maybe. But here's what many fans don't want to hear. The badge alone won't save them. The history won't save them. The hype won't save them. And the talent won't automatically save them either. Everyone thinks Brazil will win FIFA 2026, but football has a habit of humiliating certainty. The same confidence that makes fans believe Brazil is unstoppable today could become the reason millions are heartbroken tomorrow. Because in the World Cup, the most dangerous words in football are, "they can't lose." And that's exactly what people are saying about Brazil right now. What do you think? Will Brazil finally end their long wait for World Cup glory? Or are we about to witness another chapter in football's most painful modern story? Let me know in the comments.